Let's have a quick review of this low angle grip. This is a grip we use when the tool is coming in low to the wood like this. I'm using a V tool. That's the next tool we're going to use on the carving. So how this works is like this. So one hand is holding the blade of the tool and resting on the wood. That's really important. This rests on the wood and like so. I've often got my thumb here like that. So this is gripping the tool across the middle of the blade like that. This hand is braking, and this hand at the back, my other hand, is pushing. So one hand is pushing, one hand is braking, and between the two we get this control. The nice thing about this grip is that you can swap over and do it from the other side like this. So we're pushing this way, and it's a good idea to practice both ways, because sometimes it's really useful to be able to do that. One important aspect of this grip is this little bone here, because you can pivot on this bone like that, which means that the tool naturally would do a curve in this direction. So again, I'm not out here back, I'm quite up close. I've got my elbows into my body and I'm pushing, and either I'm going in a straight line or I'm curving on this little bone here like that. And if I want to curve the other way, I swap hands, again keeping my body in, and I'm pulling round this way. So that's the low angle grip. I'm going to start my cut on the outside of the line. It's quite shallow, picking up from the bottom here where the leaf ends, and just running a nice curve like this all the way around, not too deep, like so. And again, I've let the curve come from the tool as it comes round rather than the actual drawing. And I might swap hands and come back this way, so I'm on the other side here, picking up this way, coming round like that. Now, one of the things about the V tool is that it's actually rounded here. It's a tiny little gouge. It's not a sharp angle really. It's slightly rounded, and you actually sharpen it like this. So you give a little bit of a rounded keel here, which helps you go through the wood. But that looks different now from this, because this has got a rounded base and is softer than this one. So what you could do is you could take your flat gouge and you could go back to the high angle grip and very carefully push that into that bottom of that groove, like so, like this way. So it's just the corner with this leading corner clear, and then come back this way. And can you see this shaving coming out here? And just sharpen that up. So if I lift this up, I wonder if you can see the difference here. This is much sharper and this is softer, and what I really want is a sharp edge like that, a sharp angle like that. You could in fact go straight into the wood. So for example, you would, like over here, you could just push this tool like that at an angle, and then swap the other angle and push it like that, and you'd produce this crescent cut. So that's a slicing that we've just done before. So we'll do that to the other side. Let's come this way, this one for this one, I think. And this tapers, so it gets narrower to fatter here, and that's a much more interesting shape than if it was parallel. Sometimes again it's that last little fibre, and it's just the weight of the tool almost that gets rid of it. It's very light, precise cutting. Okay, so let's have a look at that. I'm going to finish off the end here, the end of the leaf, with a little stab cut and crescent cut like that. So it's as if the leaf has got a little been torn off. So now for the modelling. So what's I think really nice is, instead of putting these sort of veins or whatever straight across, to curve them, so we actually have a sense of flow in the leaf. So this isn't really an accurate holly leaf so much as a carving of a leaf. So I'm going to draw what would be the veins. So these are coming in this direction, and those are coming this way, slightly different. I think we'll do it like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to really hollow in between, so that there's an undulation up to the veins. So holly leaves do that sort of curving. So I'm going to take just a medium gouge, 1/4 inch medium gouge, and we're going to start just taking some wood away like this. You don't need to go very deep. Now what's happening straight away is that as this tool cuts the groove, one side, in this case this side, being with the grain, is giving a nice clean cut, but this side of the tool here is actually tearing. What that means is that you have to come down this way and reverse the cut. This is a very common sort of carving situation where you reverse the cut, and that's where reversing the hands really helps. So you're going to try and merge those two together. And again, I'd say don't come too deep. It really isn't necessary. So we'll do another one over here. So do a little, so you can see how that's perhaps how that's tearing up there. So I'll come this way, and then it's torn, so I'll come back this way and just tidy up that. So there will be little facets left, but that's okay. I want to make sure this is coming deep enough here. So I do want to reveal the stalk a little bit. So backwards and forwards. Making sure that's clean. And then over here. So as we come more across the grain, it's going to be easier. So scooping this way. Like that. And then back on this side down here. So this is a really good exercise in working with the grain. And as I said, it happens a lot. You're always, with the V-tool or gouge, is always doing one thing that's good, and then you find the other side of the gouge is tearing, so you need to repair it almost. Okay, so I would try and make this bit here a little deep, so make sure that goes down in there, so we get a nice sense of the rhythm. So that's how I do one side, and then I would take my V-tool, and on the top of that ridge that I've made, I would just create a little line like that. And that's how that side is done. So I'll now do the other side. So down here, this time I'm going, it's probably easier for me to flip this round and do it the other way, but let me see if I can do it this way. And this one up here. And I'll do this side while I'm at it. So I would generally, as a carving rule, you tend to do the same thing with the same tool as much as you can, because that's the most efficient way of working. So I've done all that side, and then I'd come back on this side and try and clean those up. So you're leaving facets, but again you want to leave facets heading in the same line as the vein. That will look nicer. So this is coming up here. here. This one over here. So light cuts, not too deep. Try and keep it clean. But it is a hand done leaf, so you needn't be too exact. But I wouldn't sand it. Something like that. So this bit over here. Okay, well, let's have a look at that. I finished carving the leaf, and I do need to clean up the pen lines, so I'll use my 240 grit sanding paper and just work around the edge here. I'm not going to sand the piece itself. So what we have is a stylized holly leaf. We've got sharp, clean edges, and we've got some depth here when it hollows in. We've got nice flowing lines, and it's not a real holly leaf, but it has a lot of movement and absolutely feels like a holly leaf because you have this sharp outline, which if you just had that, you'd know that was a holly leaf. So of course you can have a holly leaf going this way or the opposite direction. But there you go, that's your basic, simple holly leaf.